Hey, thanks for being here. Welcome or welcome back. This video is about my take in the One Book July Challenge. So if you're interested on hearing me out, I hope you stick around. So in the past few years, I have participated in the One Book July Challenge. Oh my God, that's a mouthful. I participated in my own way, trying to perhaps minimize my systems or maybe try to use the challenge as a focus month and stuff like that. And this time around, I'm going to approach it a similar way, but in a different kind of way. So instead of switching my plans and grabbing a new notebook or a new planner to participate on the challenge and just make it work for myself and my situation, I decided to just use my main catch-all planner for the year. I decided to do that instead of grabbing a new notebook. That way I could just hone in to using my main one and only instead of putting this one aside and jumping into a new notebook while I'm in the month of the One Book July Challenge. What I'm thinking is that if I do have to take notes on the go, I will still take my pocket, but then I will come back in here and just make sure that everything is updated. To do the challenge on this one, since this one has a little bit of everything, you've seen my channel before, I'm pretty sure you've seen how I use my planner. There's pretty much everything in this, any notes, any memory keeping, any actual monthly planning, weekly planning, daily, you name it, everything is in here. So to be able to include my approach to the challenge on this one, I did set up my dailies a little bit different. So to take you there, I'm first going to take you to the month of July. That way you can see where everything started. So let me get you a little closer. Hopefully you can see that better. So in here, actually, let me see if I can close the window a little. Okay, I think that should be a little bit better. We can still have some outside light and still see the pages. Also, by the way, I am drinking some water with lemon. I have started doing this to refresh throughout the day. Instead of just drinking in plain water, I like to add some lemon and nothing else, no sugar, no honey or anything else other than perhaps maybe vinegar, actually apple cider. And that's if I have it. If not, it's just lemon and just squeeze it in the water and it's so refreshing. Okay, so to start, what I did was to reflect on where I have been throughout the first 6 months of the year, how far I have gotten with my goals and what I wanted to see where I wanted to see the change. So a few things will switch around. On my vision board, which is the one that I set up at the beginning of the year, what I decided to do is to reflect on it. I haven't done it yet, but I will reflect on it and I will try to find new pictures that reflect the next 6 months. So hopefully I will reflect on one side of the page, which ones I have accomplished, which ones I will continue to work on, and then just remove the other ones that I decided to move away to some other time. I did that reflection, or I decided that I haven't worked on it, but that's something that's going to happen. And the other thing that I switched at the beginning here was this area right here. I did set it up for the last quarter for tracking different areas in terms of health, money, and personal care. But I truly didn't look in here because I was tracking it on the back. I guess I wanted to track it twice and just kind of see it together in here, like the 3 months instead of 1 month per page. But I never looked in here. And then at the first quarter of the year, I started tracking anything that was content related, but then I decided to move that one to my anecdote planner, which I have been using for content planning since I got it in the mail. It has been working perfectly fine. So I'm considering to get another one for next year if I finish this one, because I still have plenty of space in there. So I decided to move the content planning to that one. I decided to continue to track my personal stuff on my data tracker that I set on the back. So this time around, I decided instead to just use it for anything that is mindset related. And I'm thinking that all I'm going to do is just write one word per day that is positive, that reminds me of something good that happened on the day. And especially on the days or the times that I'm not feeling my best, the idea is that I can take a break and reflect on the day and find one thing, just one word that reminds me of something that is positive. That's what's changing here in the beginning. And that's going to start now in July. And then there we go to the month. So on the month, you can see my quick doodle of the theme for the month. I hope that you have enjoyed that one. It was super fun and just super simple, very creative, I guess, set up. I did add some other stuff, as you can see here. So if you saw that video, it was like the draft for the monthly overview. And then I started adding more things as I started planning my month, as things started to show up. So I did added more. Actually, I did added this little mushroom here. And then I added the quote that I chose for the month in here throughout this one. And I loved how that looks. And then I decided to color code different things that are going to happen throughout the month. And then based on the theme, I set up my first week. So first weeks, usually the setup is going to be the same. The only difference is that this time around, instead of coloring the bottom part, as I've been doing to color code my focus for today, I decided to just go back to the dots and that way not make it too busy to look at. I might switch it week to week, but for now this week, I wanted to start it simple. That's for the week. And then we'll get to my dailies. So on the dailies this time around, I decided to switch them just see if I can find it quickly for you. First of all, before we get to the dailies, I'm going to show you something that I will be doing. I haven't done it yet, but I am planning on doing that, and that'll be in here. So I decided that after the June month was over, I wanted to leave these 2 pages to do the overview and the update of the vision board. What I mentioned in the beginning, I will be doing a reflection, putting on the left here, what are the goals that I have accomplished already with visuals, and then what are the goals that I'm continuing to look forward for the next 6 months. And that's all going to be like a second vision board, I guess, for the second half of the year. And then we get to the July month. And this one is one that I set up off camera because I didn't know when my month was going to begin. So I needed to wait a little bit. But yeah, I decided to go with the same theme, obviously, because that's going to be the theme for the entire month. So I added some mushrooms there, the month of the year, and then the quote. And it says, I will keep on showing up. And then this is something different and a little fun. Instead of jumping right away to my dailies, I decided to use this first 2 pages for sort of a reflection of where I was going to go on the month and how I wanted to accomplish those milestones and those goals for the month specifically. So on the left here, I have the how is it that I'm going to be continuing to show up. So I have one main area actually per week. So it has to be with the same goal. So mainly it's 3 goals. 3 goals that have to do with professional education and then family. So for each week has a particular focus area. And I started from the bottom up because I want to see it as a rising challenge. So the weeks start down here. It starts telling me which areas I have to be working on throughout the first week. And then it continues like this until I get to the end. And then I left the last week to review my progress. So I added like summary of the goal. And then I have 2 little areas in here to add specific tasks that I can do to accomplish that. And then here I just added an entry or reflection of what it is that I'm looking forward for the month, like setting an intention, I guess, for myself. And I look forward to seeing this one fill in. I'm thinking that I am going to just color code either the little boxes or check them off or color the actual doodles instead once I'm starting to progress towards the top. Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. And then after this, I also did something different. I set up an overview for the week in my dailies. And there's where the One Book July challenge begins. So instead of adding a new notebook, like I said at the beginning for the challenge, I decided to just instead add a new section to my actual main planner. And what I will do in here is to kind of have an overview for the week. Even though I do have the weeklies over here, I want to keep it more as a time tracking sort of what I do throughout the day. And then here it's more task oriented. So in here, I'm planning on adding the main task or the focus for the actual day. And then on this area, it's where I'm going to add random notes, anything that comes to mind that I have to remember for the next week or for the next month or whatever, it's going to go in here. And then in here, I'm going to add a running task list. The idea of doing this is not adding more work to my system, instead of using what I already have in place and compile it into one. So I will, instead of adding another notebook to add the to-dos and all that stuff, I'm just going to add a new section to the dailies. And since I still have plenty of pages left, I think that I should be good to go for the entire month of July and for the rest of the year. If I do go back to just my dailies in the back here, even if I still add more things to my sections and stuff like that to these blank pages, I believe I still have plenty of pages. I usually use about 15 per month. And in the back here, if you are familiar, I guess, with the full year common planner, you do have a page per day for the entire year. By using only 15 per month, I have been saving more pages in the back for other things that come to mind. So now for the month of July, even though I'm doing this and I'm not adding a new notebook, I'm just adding new sections, I will still use other planners. So like I said before, I do use my main planner and I will continue to use that one. I will continue to use my anecdote planner for my content only. And all I do in here is truly just go through the month and just add whatever it is that I'm planning on working on. And as you can see, I also did my mushrooms theme in here because I like to keep it cohesive and stuff like that. I have plenty going on in here, but here is just for me to have fun and just brainstorm about ideas and things that I want to talk about. And then I also did this little area right here in one of the monthly spreads that I had available for me to just jot down random ideas and random notes and things that I have done already or things that I would like to do and stuff like that, just to kind of have a place to have them. And I do have the weeklies over here, which is a day per page, but I truly don't use it like that because I don't find it like I need it for my content planning. So if I do finish this one for the monthlies for the entire year, the rest of the year, I will still have all the weeks pretty much because I only use maybe one week this year. So I'm thinking that for 2026, I might still go in here and use this in some way for content as well. That way I can use the whole thing. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. This one was still in my system for my content. And then I also added this one, which I shared with you not too long ago, how I switched my commonplace to my TN insert. And I have been having a blast in this one. So I will definitely continue to do that because it's like my creative outlet, I guess I want to call it. Even though I'm still learning something, it's fun for me. So I find it that is more my me time. I talked a little bit about this in my commonplace video, so I will link that video, but I explain how I'm using it and the setup and everything. But as you can see, I have been having a blast in here and I will continue to do that. So it is part of my one book, even though the challenge is in here. This is part of my system for the month of July. I just want to make sure that that I'm clarifying that. It's not that I'm just using this notebook and putting everything else away, because I do have other areas that I like to have compartmentalized. I like to have them separate in their own place. I wanted to share with you my one book July challenge. I don't find it is a challenge because I already use this planner. To me, it's actually going to make it a little bit easier to have everything in one place and actually use this one a little bit more often throughout the day, because I do enjoy this book and just having it and flipping through the pages. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here because otherwise I'm going to keep on talking about the notebook. I love it. This is, again, I don't know if I've said it before, this is a full year common planner B6 size, the regular size. For next year, I did get my slim version of the B6, so I'm excited for that one too. And hopefully you'll stay around if you're planning on using a similar size so we can set it up together. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.